Now you'll also need to print some labels for the pallets once the containers come in, and normally that won't take place until you've started receiving some containers in, and you're going to then put them on pallets. But if you know already how many are going to be on each pallet and how many pallets or containers are coming in, then you can start printing labels for that. To do that, we have the option here to print new pallet labels or existing pallet. The existing pallet I'll come to later on. That allows you, if you want to, once you have pallets of in the cool room, if you want to split them and reprint labels, you can do that. But let's just print some existing ones. Again, our label layout, we select the one that we want to use, and it will remember that. Select the grower that we're going to be using. The date expected. If the pallets are coming from a remote farm or a remote location, you can actually say, I'm expecting them in on a certain date, and I'm printing labels to send off to that other farm or that other grower location. The container type that I'm using, in this case I'm going to choose the square styrene containers. The pallet type, if I want to include that, I'll choose CHEP, and the pallet lid type. They can be, if you don't put them in, you can have not specified. The variety type of that we're going to be doing, crimson seedless. Now it tells us already the quantity we're expecting on a pallet, and we now can also put in a reference number. If you have a like an order number or something that is related to that, then, and you can put several reference numbers if you want in there, and I'll just put a reference number in there. And now I can say the quantity on pallet is 72. I can add to the pallet, and I want 72 labels. It's now created a pallet label for that with all the details. It tells us it's a new pallet, and we can continue on with that. Notice that since I've done 72, it knows that I can only fit 72 on there, and now from 80001 it's now clocked on the pallet number to 8002. If I said that I actually want to put in 36 onto there, and I add another 36 into another pallet, it's going to add them, but you'll notice it still continues on with the same pallet number. In other words, there's still more that can be fitted onto that pallet. So if I want to actually put more than one variety on a pallet, so if I'm going to put some Thompson seedless on there as well, and it tells me that I've got 36 already on the pallet. If I want to say I have another 40 of those and I add it, it's going to add them onto the pallet, and so that they would be there as well, and it's clocked onto the new number because we've gone over the limit of the number that you can have on a pallet with that. If I put in, say, 88 as the number, and I go add to pallet, it will tell me that there's more than 72. Do I want to create multiple pallets? And I'll say yes to that, and it will actually say I'm going to create one pallet of 72 and one pallet of 16. We'll create the labels for that. And so I end up, after the time I've got all the different container types and labels that I'm going to print from that, when I'm ready to print those, I simply go print labels. It's going to come up with my pallet labels ready to print, and I'll go ahead and print those, and then I can go out and put them on the pallets as they come in, as they're done with that. Again, once I'm finished, hit clear labels to clear the label queue and go back to existing ones with that. And so that's printing the pallet labels with that as well. So as well as doing a pallet transfer, there may be an occasion where you just need to reprint an existing pallet label. Maybe the pallet has labels gone missing, or it's been damaged, or you've had to change the packaging on the pallet if it's been shrink wrapped. And so to do that, you simply go to existing pallet here, select the pallet number you want to reprint the label for, and then add that to the label queue. And then you, as you can see, it says this is it's not a new pallet, it's an existing one. And then I can go ahead and print that label out and put it back on the pallet, which I'll do now. And that's how you reprint an existing pallet label.